I feel like hiking puts every emotion you can feel and it just shoves it all in a bottle and distributes it in like a 10-mile length. There were times I felt exhausted and then rejuvenated, and then I was feeling defeated and then completely overwhelmed with like this sensation of feeling powerful.
I am so thankful that I got to do this. I feel like I appreciate it more as a mom, just getting this time to get away and kind of like cleanse out your mind and push the limits of my boundaries, like mentally and physically. Kind of thinking like, well, wait, I've had 4 kids, I can't do that big of a hike anymore, and I did it, and I did it well, and I'm so happy.
This trip is one I've been looking forward to for actually a really long time. Steve and I, when we first started dating, we bonded over our mutual love of the Tetons. We've actually both hiked the same portion of the trail. It's really special to be back on the trail and being able to hike it together. We've also got our buddy Ty with us. He's flown in from Western North Carolina. He's helped us out with the bus a lot, so it's really cool for him to get to travel with us. We stayed at a really awesome campground last night right outside of Yellowstone National Park. The drive was beautiful, and Yellowstone's really cool. Sawyer's tap filter is great for camping, RV life, emergency preparedness, traveling abroad, or in mine and Steve's case, if you are living in a converted school bus. So we've been living on the road for about 1.5 years now, and by far the most frustrating part for me is trying to find places to refill our water tanks with water that we feel like is safe to drink. And now with the tap filter, we don't really have to worry about that because we can get clean, safe drinking water on the go whenever we want it. And that's a really huge peace of mind to have while we're traveling. So some really cool features about the tap filter: the adapter fits right onto your faucet, and it comes with a little blue piece that gauges whether or not it'll fit on yours. So you definitely don't want to try and shove the filter onto your tap if it doesn't fit. If your tap is too large for the filter, it comes with an adapter for that as well. If your faucet is threaded, also do not shove it on there. There's an adapter for that as well. Some other cool things that it comes with an extension hose so that you can quickly fill up any pots or pans. Some other really cool features and adapters that the kit comes with is a back flushing system. So it's capable of back flushing any of your other Sawyer filters, which I find super helpful because we do take a lot of the filters backpacking with us. So to be able to come home and really easily clean them out is awesome. So whether you're traveling full-time like we are, whether you're going out of the country or you're just going camping, if you want filtered water straight out of the tap, check out the Sawyer tap filter. In Grand Teton National Park, you have to have a backcountry permit for any kind of overnight activity that you're doing. So right now, this time of year, you can't purchase those ahead either. You have to just it's first come, first served. So Ty and Steve woke up really early on Saturday and they drove to the office and waited in line and ultimately got us a 2-night permit. We did have to find a dog sitter as well because dogs aren't allowed in the national park. So luckily we have some friends who were more than happy to watch the dogs for us. We're kind of bummed to have to leave them behind, but we can't be here and not do a trip in the Tetons.
So if you're spending a lot of time backpacking, sooner or later you're going to backpack in a rainstorm, and so it's really good to prepare and know how to set up your rain fly in the rain. Make sure you're practicing that at home before you get out there. We use this if we're hiking and we're having to wait out a rainstorm. It's really quick and easy to set up, or if you get to camp and it's raining and you need to set up your rain fly so that you can put your gear underneath it and set up your tent underneath it to keep your gear and yourself dry. It's a really awesome feature and something I would definitely recommend you get a tent that is able to do that. So you can see I have tons of space in here. You can actually pitch this in hangout mode too if you've got a lot of people and you're waiting out a rainstorm, but I'm going to show you how to set up your tent under the rain fly. It's pretty simple. The clipping is a little bit different. It's also, they're color coordinated, which makes it really, really easy. So I've got the gray, so I know I have to come over here to match it with the gray legs, and you just slip the clips underneath the poles there. And then do the same thing on the other side. And then all you have to do is clip on to the poles around, and then it's set up.
We are starting to pack for our trip in the Tetons, and I'm packing my rain gear with me. I bring it on every trip, but especially this trip, it is actually calling for rain for the first day of our trip. But even if it doesn't rain, I still bring it with me. It acts as an extra warmth layer. And then one piece of gear that's really important that a lot of people don't think about is a way to keep your pack dry and all of the gear inside of your pack, like your sleeping bag, your tent, things you really don't want to get wet. I use Mystery Ranch's hooded pack cover. It's really easy to take apart and just pop right on your pack, and it has a hood on it too, so if it is raining, it doesn't drip down your back. It actually drips off and keeps your whole pack dry, which I love, and it's really small and compact. So make sure you're always bringing your rain gear with you, even if there's not a chance of rain, but in this case, I think there's a pretty good chance we're gonna need it.
It is August, feels like September. It's getting kind of cool. We are here in Wyoming. Me and Jordan are getting back on one of our favorite trails, the Teton Crest Trail, and we're bringing some new friends that have never tried backpacking before. How do y'all feel?
Nervously excited.
Super excited.
Super excited?
Super excited, yeah.
We're gonna take care of y'all, and I think we're gonna have a good time out there. Glad you guys could join us.
So happy to be here.
And then we've got Ty.
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
This is also my first double overnight trip. Gonna be the most miles I've ever put in, and I am nervously excited.
I'm gonna look like a turtle for the first bit of this, but I must say these little Sea to Summit ponchos are really cool. We used it as an emergency tarp, and you know, it's really light, and I've been dry. So far, so good.
So after hiking for a while, we made it to our first creek crossing where we had to refill water. A couple of our crew had never drank fresh water out of a creek before, so that was really cool. You know, after you've been backpacking for so long, a lot of things start to become normalized in a way where you forget how incredible it is to be able to drink filtered water straight out of the creek. And that's one of my favorite things about going out with new people, is just kind of re-falling in love with the outdoors yourself, because seeing it through the eyes of someone where everything is new and exciting is a really, really cool experience. We filled up our waters and we kept going on our uphill. It was a pretty big uphill stretch for the first part of the day. Then we just hit some groovy, pretty flat meadows with beautiful wildflowers, beautiful views of rock walls. It rained a little bit on and off. It wasn't pouring, which was really nice too. It was just kind of more of an annoying mist, if you will. And then we also came across some moose, which was really cool. I've never seen a moose before. Even on my first trip in the Tetons, we somehow never saw any, and on this trip we saw 7 moose when the whole trip was over, which was really cool. 1 baby, 1 bull, and then a couple of cows. When we were about halfway through our trip, we walked through an area where a storm had hit a few years ago, and trees, huge trees, were just snapped in half, totally uprooted. And that was actually the area that last time when I went on this trip that I camped in. And so it was really weird to be back in that same area, and it looked absolutely nothing like it did.
Alright, pulled into the trees to ride out another storm. It's been hanging around for a little while though, so we're just gonna get our rain gear on and keep marching, and hopefully it passes before we have to get near the pass and lose our trees.
The rain picked back up again, so we decided to take that opportunity to set up a little temporary shelter situation and eat some lunch. We also had to have a bear canister with us. They require those in the national park, so we had to take turns carrying it and keep all our food in there and everything. So we got that out, got refueled, and kind of waited out the storm a little bit. Luckily, it didn't last very long, and so we were able to pack everything up and keep going. We stopped in drank a bunch of water, refilled everything. We had to bring up some extra water with us because we knew our campsite wasn't going to have water. The rangers told us that. So we did carry a little bit of extra water, which going on an uphill was a little bit of a bummer to have to do that. So it's the end of the day and we're hiking up this massive hill and we're all super exhausted. I think morale was starting to lessen a little bit, and then we turned to switch back and got our first view of Grand Teton. And that was really cool. The clouds cleared up for it so we could actually see it, and I think everybody got the energy they needed from that to really push through and make it to the top of the hill to our campsite. Once we got into the camping zone, we had to walk another maybe a quarter or half mile to get to the first campsite. They are just first come, first served. There's not any designated areas in that particular campsite, so you just want to pick one that already looks like it's been camped at. We found a really good one right on the edge of a shelf. Beautiful view of the Tetons when the clouds weren't covering it, and we started setting up our tents and gear and got out our food. Tonight we are making beef stroganoff. And so basically brought in a frozen thing of ground beef that is defrosted throughout the day, still nice and cold. Got some dried mushrooms, some fresh onion and garlic, a beef stroganoff mix that I'm gonna make with some powdered milk, and then we're gonna mix it with some cooked pasta. Alright, so I'm cooking the noodles first, and then when they're almost done, I'm going to take them off the heat and set them aside. Then I'm going to cook the meat and add in the onion and garlic, and then we're going to make the sauce and mix it all together. Meat's brown, I'm going to add the veggies, and then we're almost done. Alright, so pasta is done, the meat's almost done. I'm gonna strain out the pasta water into my cup, and then that is what I'm gonna use to make the stroganoff mix, because it's about the right amount that I need. You can always add more water if you need to, and then mix it together.
And you're getting double use out of your water, which is really smart.
And then you don't have wastewater, for sure. We were about halfway through with dinner and a really crazy storm rolled in, so we had to kind of really quickly get all of our gear and get everything together and huddle under the tarp. And it was kind of a cool bonding moment where everybody was just laughing, and then that cleared up pretty quickly and we pretty much went to sleep. It was a really long, beautiful day, so we were all pretty tired. We had a long day the next day too, so we wanted to get some good rest. Whether you want to discover locals-only backroads with a field map or you use a topography map to plan your next backpacking trip, Maps.com has thousands of options to choose from. Unlike your phone, printed maps are waterproof and guaranteed not to run out of batteries or service. So next time you want to head out on an adventure or even just a drive around town, leave your digital devices at home and grab your old trusty printed map and see what kind of fun you can get into.
Oboz Footwear. We plant a tree for every pair sold. 1 million and counting. That's a lot of f***ing trees.
At Mystery Ranch, we build the best load-bearing backpacks in the world. We design for some of the most demanding users on the planet. We build for a different kind of customer, for folks who inspire us, and for people with a job to do. We work directly with them to really understand their needs. We build with the best materials available and the most durable construction methods that exist, so our users can achieve their mission, whether it's on the front line, the fire line, the cleanest line, or the steepest line. Mystery Ranch, built for the mission.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Before we get back to our episode, I want to share with you guys some exciting news we've got this season. All of our brand partners have super awesome gear, and they've decided to share that gear with you. So we're having weekly sweepstakes where you have the chance to win some of that gear, so make sure you sign up for that. Also starting next week on Mondays and Fridays, we're going to have shorts that'll be anything from tips and tricks from our editorial staff to deeper dives into our brand partners. So make sure you stay tuned for that bonus content there, and make sure you also like, subscribe, follow along, leave us a comment so you can stay up to date with everything going on. And if you see us out on the road, say hello. So morning 2 rolls around and we all start waking up to the sound of what sounds like a guy burping. And Ty had been burping the entire trip, so a lot of, like, I just thought he was burping while he was waking up. And then we open our tent doors and there's a huge mountain goat. It was really funny and quirky, and we ended up naming him Ty Jr. or TJ in honor of Ty because he made a very similar sound to Ty's burps. We had a group pass by and that told us that mountain goats will stay near humans because they feel safe from the other animals, so we kind of took it as like a sweet thing that he was hanging out with us.
All right, we are packing up camp. The sun is finally back out after, gosh, being kind of away all day. So we're taking this opportunity to digest our breakfast. We got some clothes hanging out, drying out, probably do a little stretching, and then we got 10 miles today, so it's gonna be a good one.
When we had originally checked the weather, we knew it was supposed to rain pretty much all day and all night the first night, and it did. We got rained on. We all stayed really dry, though, thankfully. Day 2 and 3 were supposed to be pretty nice, so we were feeling better about weather. So we packed up and we hit the trail. We thought we were gonna have at least another 10-mile day on day 2 to get to our next camping zone on that day as well.
We've wrapped up at our night 1 campsite. Got some clouds moving in. It wasn't supposed to storm today, but we're gonna get a move on just in case some afternoon thunderstorms do decide to sneak up on us. 10 miles a day, plenty of fun. And we just put our sunscreen on too, because we're at elevation and don't wanna get burned.
We're all hiking along, laughing, having a great time, and we start this really long downhill that we had for the day, and when we finally get to the bottom, there was a beautiful alpine lake. Bree kind of made this comment of like, I kind of want to jump in. And I was like, I kind of want to too. And so we kind of were like, I'll do it if you do it. Cold water for me is really difficult. I've never enjoyed getting in the creeks, but I'm gradually trying to push myself to start doing that. I've never regretted jumping into a body of water and being cold for a second, but there's been so many times that I haven't jumped in the water and really wished that I did. We got to the base of our last really big uphill push for the day, and we kept doing all day these things. We were calling them family check-ins, where we were basically just touching base and making sure we were all feeling okay and not hurting too bad anywhere. Erika let us know that her feet were giving her some problems. We take off her socks and shoes, and sure enough, she's got quite a few hot spots and a couple that were definitely turning into blisters. We had her put on a thicker pair of Darn Tough socks to just add a little bit of extra cushion. Gave her some moleskin, so we were able to keep trekking. I really respect her positive attitude throughout the whole thing. You know, I kept telling myself when we were going uphill, if Bree's doing this with her feet like that, then you can do this too. The entire trip, nobody really complained, even though there were definitely times where complaining would have been 100% understood, but everybody stayed really positive, and that was really cool. It's not often that you get a group of people together where everyone is just positive and happy the entire time. So we get to the top of this hill. We're all on like cloud 9. You know, we were pretty quiet on the hike up, just like trucking, heads down, just one foot in front of the other. And we get up to the top and we're just like over the moon happy. We are basically at the start of what our camping zone is for the night. So we're like feeling good. We're almost to camp. The views from up there were incredible. It was so pretty. And you know, it was one of those moments of like, this is why we do this. 5 minutes goes by, 10 minutes goes by, 20 minutes goes by, and we're not seeing a single campsite, and we're like, all right, we're definitely in the camping zone. Like the sign says we're in the zone, but we're not seeing any campsites, or not any that would fit 2 tents and a hammock. So we're starting to feel a little bit disheartened about that right when we all were like really tired for the day. And then we get to this incredible spot and just all embraced each other and like a, oh my gosh, we made it moment. And we ended up doing about 14 miles that day. That was a really big day, and we all kind of just kept telling ourselves like every step that we're taking now is one less we're gonna have to take tomorrow. We set up camp, we refill our water. So night 2 we did just do dehydrated meals, which I was so thankful for. By the time we got to camp, everyone was so tired. I can't imagine like having to actually make a meal at that point. So we just wolfed down some dinner really quick and pretty much went to sleep.
From the moment you wake to the fuel you need, from ingenious products that empower true adventure to simple gear that enables fun. Products that perform in any terrain, anywhere, for anyone. A relentless ally for your adventures. The adventures that live inside us all.
Lakey expands its groundbreaking cross trail line to include a traditional trekking 3-section configuration. Featuring the innovative hybrid cross shark grip, it offers the speed and power transmission of the Trigger Shark system, combined with the support of an ergonomic hiking grip for additional support and comfort on descents. The breathable strap features a wide support area for effective power transfer and a secure fit. The sweat-absorbing grip allows for maximum control, and the length adjustment is made easy and secure with the Speed Lock 2 on 100% high modulus carbon shafts for lightweight durability. Recreation.gov is your one-stop shop when it comes to planning your next adventure. With over 4,000 facilities and activities around the country, including camping, rafting, horseback riding, and much, much more, at over 100,000 recreation locations, they've got you covered. Using all of the tools, services, and information on their site, you can dream up your next trip and then go live it. You can't take full advantage of hiking if you don't take good care of your feet, and that's why we love Darn Tough so much. Made in Vermont, they knit category-specific socks from a merino wool blend in a variety of fun colors and designs. Best of all, Darn Tough offers an unconditional lifetime guarantee on all of their socks. If the pair you buy aren't the most comfortable, durable, and best-fitting socks you've ever owned, return them for another pair. No strings, no conditions, socks guaranteed for life. To learn more about Darn Tough socks, go to www.darntough.com or click the link in the description below.
Morning 3 was special. We went to bed early and got a great sleep. Yesterday's long day meant we had around 5 miles to make it back to the trailhead. We'd eat a quick breakfast, finish off the coffee, and then get to packing up.
Morning 2. You guys crushed, I don't know, we're probably at like 25 miles now. We've got just a little bit and we're out of here. It was your first big trip. What do you think?
I feel like hiking puts every emotion you can feel and it just shoves it all in a bottle and distributes it in like a 10-mile length. There were times I felt exhausted and then rejuvenated, and then I was feeling defeated and then completely overwhelmed with like this sensation of feeling powerful. I cried and I laughed. I wanted to crawl and then I wanted to cartwheel. Like every emotional instability or stability that I could have had, I feel like I did every day. You know, it was so cool though, because then at the end of the day, it's well, speechless. Leaves me speechless.
I am so thankful that I got to do this. I feel like I appreciate it more as a mom, just getting this time to get away and kind of like cleanse out your mind and push the limits of my boundaries, like mentally and physically. Kind of thinking like, well, wait, I've had 4 kids. I can't do that big of a hike anymore. And I did it, and I did it well, and I'm so happy that I can do that and not be like limited to what I think I can do, because I didn't tell you guys this, but I almost quit like several times before we even left. You know, like I was getting all worked up in my mind thinking, what if my mind or my body doesn't listen to my mind? And I just really, I almost quit because of fear that it would be too hard before I even tried it. And I've done that a lot in life, and whenever I've pushed past that and actually done something that was hard, despite the fear, it's been worth it. And so I look back on that and I use that for this, and I'm so glad that I did that.
We've already talked about getting our families, her kids and my baby and our husbands, and doing this all over again. Maybe not this exact one, but something again.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Just to like, I feel like I've gotten over it now that I'm not afraid, you know. So it was good.
Or what was the favorite piece of gear that we gave you guys to
I know
borrow?
yours.
Everyone knows mine. Those hiking poles are amazing. I don't think I would have even made the first mile, because we went up pretty much the first mile, right? Was it like up?
The whole day.
And with
the
the
whole
pack,
day.
that pack's heavy, and it just balances it out. So I didn't honestly think about my pack for most of the time I was hiking, because the poles just made it so much more balanced. I don't know. It was like having 4 legs. instead of
Yeah, we call it
2.
four-wheel drive.
Yeah, that was my favorite. I think that was definitely my favorite.
My unexpected favorite was the water filtration bags. In my head, I was thinking, okay, how many bottles am I gonna have to carry for 3 days? And they whipped out these little bags with filter on the edge, and we just found a stream. And to me, that was like the biggest moment of like, I'm really in the woods. I'm drinking from a stream. So those filters were just super awesome.
I always get bummed my last day. While I'm ready to get back to the dogs and get this load off my back, I always wish I could stay a little longer.
Moleskin's one of our favorite things to pack. When you're climbing mountains, sometimes your feet get a little chewed up, so we're helping Erika have a little extra protection for this morning.
We would follow the creek all the way back down to Phelps Lake and then head back up to our original trail inn. We passed that intersection days ago, unaware of all the wonder we were about to experience. Once we got to the lookout of Phelps Lake, it was all downhill from there. We were so excited to see the cars and cross the finish line.
Explain to me this game taking place.
Laziness as high as it gets, because I don't want to take another step right now, and he wants some M&Ms. So if he can catch them, he can have them.
In it to win.
A feast in town and then back to our buses to meet up with some friends from Teton Summit.
Since 1984, Sawyer has manufactured gear for outdoor enthusiasts that expect the best. We are an independent brand dedicated to developing and creating technically better protection for everyone. So when you buy Sawyer products, you're not only protecting the ones you love, you're helping protect millions of people lacking access to clean water. And you're helping us to do more. Protect more, give more, and innovate more, which helps us be more than an outdoor company.
Yellowstone Bourbon is handcrafted in the state of Kentucky. These small batch whiskeys are the work of 7th generation craftsmen, resulting in a unique taste, perfect for the trail. Plus, a portion of every bottle sold goes to helping preserve our national parks. Cheers to that. To learn more about the products from Yellowstone Bourbon, head on over to limestonebranch.com or click the link in the description below.
What tools do we use to mark the way? We mark time by days, weeks, and years. But the stuff we remember, the good stuff, we mark by moments. Moments where we're challenged and overcome. The kind that get dirt under our nails and fire in our hearts. We believe that every problem has a solution, and that every solution is a moment where we prove who we are. These are moments made.
Once back, we linked up with Hannah Bowden from Teton Summit and Andrew King, a fellow Teton Summit ambassador. Someone made a comment about horseback riding, and with our legs being tired, we jumped right on it. As usual on the trail, we talked life and got to hear about an endeavor Andrew is working on called the Between Worlds Project.
So my name's Andrew Alexander King, and I'm the founder of the Between Worlds Project. It's a project that is basically showing how the world is on 2 layers. We're all born into this world as lottery tickets of life. No one's ever asked who and what, race, gender, where they want to be born. They're just given a lottery ticket and pushed out into the world. And from there, you're either under a glass ceiling or above it. And so the Between Worlds Project is how we actually see ourselves, what society wants us to be, and breaking through that glass ceiling to be what we want to be in our lifetime. So for me, being born in Detroit, Michigan, to a one household family, to my mom and my great siblings, and being African American and finding peace in the outdoors and finding all my friends from a multitude of different backgrounds, races, genders, and countries. My project is for me is wherever I go to climb a mountain or surf, a wave, or free dive, And to a depth, I sit down and learn what those cultures and communities are going through, to learn how they find peace, not only in nature, but in their day-to-day life, and navigating through under that ceiling to move beyond that glass ceiling to live a peaceful life as they so fit, while contributing to the next generation. So that's the Between Worlds project, and I look forward to learning from so many different people, because as I learn, I'm able to evolve and find my definition of humanity from others, and actually push myself forward to be around people not only in the mountains, but in the ocean and everywhere else between that. So I look forward to seeing everyone.
It sure was nice not having to walk and let the horses do the work. Afterwards, we'd wish them luck on their big climb on the Grand Teton and headed back to the bus to take in our time in here in Wyoming with one last cocktail with our new friends.
So we started off our Wyoming adventure and met up with some schoolie friends and some schoolie strangers that became friends, and then we got done with our trip and met some new schoolie friends that just happened to be in the area.
Hey.
So what better way to become friends and share some bourbon with them? So we're gonna do a kind of a variation of a hot toddy. This is called the Old Faithful. We're gonna do lemon ginger tea. It's cold outside, so it's really nice to have a hot drink. Gonna add some fresh lemon, some fresh ginger, and some honey.